Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, Tom Thibodeau was named 2021 Coach of the Year. Man, if that doesn't get your juices flowing, I don't know what will, man. But it's this Dynamics podcast. This is off the cuff, just happened. It's my initial reaction. Let's get right into it. Yeah, man. Before you see my beautiful face, man, because I am right here, right behind the screen here. It's legacy. You got you got Red. You got Pat Riley on the other side, and then you got Mr. Tom Thibodeau right in the middle, man. And in the beginning in the '70s, it was all about ball movement, get the team involved, playing hard-nosed defense, and playing to the crowd, man. The crowd was always a six-man. Fast forward to 1993, Pat Riley, same thing, defense, ball movement. Get behind the crowd, playing the hard-nosed defense, and bring us to the present time, 2021. It's legacy, man. This is the tradition of New York City basketball, and I'm glad that we finally are here, man. So let's get this out of here, so you can see my beautiful face. Throw the branding up there, and let's say hello to my man, Tom Thibodeau, man. Yeah, man. He's always a hard-nosed guy, man. He just won the Coach of the Year award, and this is the face that he gives. He can't even crack a smile. If I push play on the video, he didn't hardly smile the whole time. So this is a guy that's just all about basketball, pure basketball, man. He doesn't have any kids. He's not married. You know what I'm saying? So when you want to talk about somebody that's pure and is true to this thing, it totally was Tom Thibodeau, man. So hindsight is always 2020. When we was doing the whole coaching search, I kind of wanted Kenny Atkinson. Because I was looking for the Jeff Van Gundy style of basketball player. Of coach, somebody that's relentless, not going to go to sleep, tireless, somebody a little bit younger that could stay with us for a little while, But they ended up going with Tom Thibodeau. Tom Thibodeau has the pedigree, I guess, from being Pat Riley's coaching tree. He did his he had his history in Chicago and all this. He had a bunch of history in the NBA, man. So. So I guess that was the right decision to make, because we needed somebody that already did it, somebody that need to be questioned. He had a certain style of play that he wanted to play, and he's been here before. You know what I'm saying? So hindsight is 2020, man. But without getting into the playoffs, where I think he completely laid an egg in these playoffs, you have to really get into what he did in this season, and you could just look no further than Basketball Reference. And not even look at this particular season that we just finished. Let's look at the season before that. So as I share it, I just want to show you this is all the Knicks rosters and stuff. Let's go to the season before, man. We made the playoffs this year, 41-31. Last year it wasn't so good, man. 21-45. If you look at this roster, if I could pull it up here, let's get into where the averages and stuff is. We basically had some of the same guys, man. Julius Randle. We had Marcus Morris ended up getting traded, which ended up being quickly with the draft pick. Got R.J. Barrett, Elfrid Payton, some of these other guys, Reggie Bullock, Mitchell Robinson, Frank Ntilikina, Kevin Knox. Some of these other guys here, Kadeem Allen, Tosh Gibson was here also. A couple other guys here too, like Maurice Harkless and Bobby Portis. These are all good NBA players that went on to play well for other teams, man. But with this roster, what was the difference between this roster and our current roster? Let's look at our current roster now. So just go back and click the current team here. If you look at the roster, as soon as it loads up here, if you look at the roster, what's the change? You got Julius Randle, Reggie Bullock, Mitchell Robinson, some of the same names. Add Alex Burke, which is he that much different than some of the players we had the year before? Nerlens Noel is here. Is he that much different than some of the guys we had before? Austin Rivers got traded. Tosh Gibson was back. Emmanuel Quickley is a young rookie. Obi Toppin is another rookie. Kevin Knox is still here. Frank Ntilikina. And some of these other guys are just like, guys that barely played all year. 3 games, 9, 17, 8, 4. You know what I'm saying? So what was the difference between those two rosters? And the easy question is just Tom Thibodeau. Tom Thibodeau came here with his style of play. Right away, you could see from game one, you could see the defense was different. just the way that everyone communicated. And I remember talking in the beginning on other people's shows and on my show as well, that the open hand. Whenever the Knicks played defense, especially in the beginning of the year, they were moving like this all across the field. They were moving together. Everybody was talking to each other and stuff. It was beautiful. It was something that we haven't seen in years. Haven't seen since the Riley era, since the Van Gundy era, since the Red Holzman era. You know what I'm saying? So this is all traditionary stuff that a lot of us, the young, especially young fans, they've never seen it in the Knick uniform, so they don't even know what it's about. But for an older fan like myself, I go back into the 90s and the 80s. So I remember how we used to be before Pat Riley and stuff like that. When Pat Riley came, like I said, it became this. 5 men on the court, everybody doing like this, everybody communicating, everybody sticking up for each other and just having pride in what they're doing out there. I listened to my dad and some of the older fans that they remember the Red Holzman era with the ball movement, and the same thing. They agree with this concept that I'm trying to tell you. This is the court, half court, and the Knick defenders are doing like this, all in unison. You know what I'm saying? The ball movement. There's a lot of old fans remember that the ball movement. They always talk about how the Knicks used to bring the ball up the court and nobody put the ball on the floor. It was that how in sync the Knicks were. Back in the 90s, it wasn't a fast-breaking team, but Pat Riley brought it all the way back down to a half-court set. And, that ball used to swing around that perimeter. Once you give it down to Ewing makes that kick out, and that ball swing around, man. That was amazing, too, the way that we did that. So this is all traditionary stuff, man. Tom Thibodeau came in here, set the table on his first year with basically the same roster, only a couple different guys. You want to say Derrick Rose was a difference maker to make us to the next level. He didn't even start the year. Derrick Rose didn't even start the year for us, man. He came on like almost like I'm gonna say like a quarter way through the year. So we had a couple things that we're trying to figure out at the beginning. We had Dennis Smith Jr. playing, a whole bunch of other different things that we were trying to figure out in the beginning of the year. So kudos to Tom Thibodeau, man, from just organizing us, making guys believe in themselves for one. Shout out to Reggie Bullock and all these different guys. They had a role. He didn't just really give them a role that it can go for. He really just tapped into what they can do, put them in spots where they could be successful. And you got to just tip your hat off for that, man. So I can't talk good about him without talking about the bad. He was completely exposed in these playoffs, man. So that can't be that can't go without saying. But tomorrow's another day. Next year's another season, and I anticipate this roster getting a little bit better. You want to talk about Reggie Bullock, Alec Burke, Elfrid Payton, somebody. But that's basically it. Some of these other guys, maybe Kevin Knox and Frank Ntilikina might not be here. We have the opportunity to upgrade all those positions, possibly getting a really good player, or possibly just getting somebody marginally better than the guys that we have right now. So I would say the sky's the limit. And then at this moment, we're just gonna say, thank you, Tom Thibodeau, for bringing old school Knicks basketball back. This is the legacy. Put it right back up here one more time for you guys to see. That's Red Holzman for people who don't know. 1970, we won the championship that year. 1993, we made it all the way to the finals with Pat Riley. That's that tradition. Now to 2021, I'm hoping that this is just the start of something beautiful for our Knicks. And once again, congratulations, Tom Thibodeau, for being Coach of the Year 2021. It's well earned. It was a great Cinderella season. And look forward to next year and the years to come, man, because the Knicks are back. And it's not just that we're here. We literally are back, man. So thank you for tuning in. Those are my thoughts on Tom Thibodeau getting that Coach of the Year, well-deserved. And just a nice cherry on top for just a great season, man. All right, so I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.